And we decided that we would do another setlist doctor because we're not doing anything. We might as well like pick apart the things that we normally do and kind of like dig into them.
Yeah.
And this week we are going to do a top 40 band. And so for those of you who don't do that kind of work, this may not be super interesting to you, but for those of you who do, or people who are interested in this kind of realm, I think this might be interesting stuff.
I think there are broader lessons about setlist design that we can sort of rope in. I don't think you have to necessarily know this material. I don't know it all. But I think we can talk about sort of concepts of setlist design that are universal.
Right. So this set comes all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Nick Vallese, who has a band called Nick Vallese and the Misfit Toys.
Nice. Wow.
They're just out there. It's not for everybody, but his band has grown accustomed to that, and they've got a pretty good thing going on. So
cool.
I feel like it's worth mentioning. So what we're going to do is we're gonna kind of walk through some of their stuff. The deal that he sent me was like 11 chunks. It's a pretty solid group of tunes, but I wanted to kind of explain it. So what he has is what they call a block set. What that means is they've got in this case, the one that he sent me is 11 blocks, which is each block has like 5 to 6 tunes in it.
Yeah.
And they basically just do them back to back. The way that he explains it is it's sectioned off into 5-song blocks because they run it in 20-minute chunks. Drummer triggers the clicks on the tracks, and the voice of God, which is their cue track, announces the next song as each one ends. That way there's no dead air, no looking around, just boom, boom, boom.
It's good.
Then depending on the room, we'll banter a bit, introduce the band, whatever. We'll move on to the next one, or we'll just keep banging them out. Depends on the room. Nick's comment was, sometimes there's some really happy looking girls and some really unhappy looking boyfriends, and we just keep it moving.
It's important.
And if you guys don't follow Nick Vallese on any social media, you absolutely should. He's an insanely talented singer and guitar player, and on top of that, he's just like a funny person. So I would highly recommend that. His particular deal was, he says, everything is perfect up through block 5. After that, he needs to do some reordering. He says, it's not that the songs themselves don't work, it's just the structure of some of them doesn't move as fluidly as the first 5. So why don't we just blow through these chunks, and then we can kind of like dig into the part where he's saying he's having a bit of an issue.
Let's blow chunks. And I will say that, sorry. For me, looking at this, a lot of these are pop hits. You can't help but know them. A lot of them are actually a little bit surprising choices. Great, but like not obvious ones. And there are some that, if you hum them for me, I bet I know them, but the name doesn't mean anything to me.
Sure.
So that's kind of where I'm coming into this. So.
Yeah. And also let me clarify a couple of things, because as we start going through this list, I would say 70 to 80% of the tunes that they're doing are female fronted tunes. Nick is a guy who with a higher upper range, and so that's kind of their angle, is that they're a rock band that plays really poppy tunes and primarily doing female fronted stuff. So, just throwing it out there, this set list isn't going to be for everybody, but just wanted to kind of throw out some ideas. Maybe the 5-song block thing is a good idea for you, or maybe talking about matching BPM and kind of keeping things in blocks might be something that's helpful to you, or just something to kind of think about. So let's go through it. First of all, they open their set with 24 Karat Magic.
Strong.
If you have the tracks and you've got that nice little like Roger Troutman Zap intro, that's a great
strong.
kind of like,
it's a strong intro.
Yeah. They go from that immediately into Cake by the Ocean and to Sucker. So you've got, like a DNCE, Jonas Brother kind of tie-in. And you'll see that a lot. They've actually got like a bunch of blocks where they have the same artists or similar through line artists kind of tied together. After Sucker, they got Baby One More Time, some Britney Spears, and then Just Dance, some Lady Gaga.
Do you play Baby One More Time?
Yes.
I do that one acoustic, and I love it.
I've done it with 2 different bands. Both of the 90s groups that I work with do it.
We do it acoustic, and I sing lead on it, and it slays.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so that's chunk 1. Chunk 2, Bad Guy, Billie Eilish, TikTok, Kesha, Juice, which is some Lizzo. Our buddies up in Iowa, the Pork Tornadoes, they do some Lizzo as well.
Yep.
And it goes over really well.
Yep.
Going into Bye Bye Bye, some NSYNC.
And that might be the oldest tune on this whole show.
Yeah, there's some that go back a bit further. And then they've got Sorry, which I believe is a Justin Bieber song.
Okay.
That is the end of block 2. Block 3, Alejandro, some more Lady Gaga. Truth Hurts, some more Lizzo. I Want It That Way, Backstreet Boys, followed by Everybody, Backstreet's Back, which are pretty close together. They're about 10 BPM between the two of them. And then into Jealous, which is a Nick Jonas tune. Do you know that one?
I don't.
Make it hellish, I still get jealous.
Okay,
Not too
maybe.
sexy, beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What's your name?
Sure. Yep.
Forgive me not warming up.
No, it was pretty good for cold, actually.
All right, block 4, Hot and Her. Some Nelly.
I do that one acoustic, and it slays. Partially because I play the intro, and like the whole room's like, he's not. I love that.
I'm like, good gracious.
Yeah.
So moving into Toxic, some more Britney Spears, hella good. No Doubt, Rock Your Body, some JT. And then 7 Rings, which I believe is an Ariana Grande song.
I don't know it.
I think that's another one of those where if you heard it, you'd know it.
I imagine.
Now, again, these are ambitious tunes. These aren't songs that you just can't like pull out. Like maybe Hella Good and Rock Your Body you could probably make happen. Hot and Her you could probably make happen.
There's a lot happening in Hot and Her. It's it's complex, actually, more than it seems.
Yeah. Toxic is, in my opinion, one of the greatest 90s pop tunes. I mean, actually, it's pop tunes in general. The production on that song is insane. Block 5. So far we are in the zone. So we're not really, there's not a lot of critiquing here. We're going to have to get into the back half to really get into what's going on. Dark Horse, Katy Perry, Your Love Is My Drug, Kesha, Uptown Funk. So like right in the middle of the set, you drop that, like everybody knows that song, boom, dance floor filler.
Yep.
Bad Romance, which is upon reflection, that's a fantastic song to follow that one up by.
Yep.
They're roughly the same BPM. Uptown Funk around 115, Bad Romance around 119. So you could kind of get away with doing those really close together. Wrapping up with Oops, I Did It Again, which is, kind of dropping people on their rear ends because it's about half the speed. It's about 90, 95 BPM.
Yeah, but still a banger.
Oh yeah. If you're a 90s group, you're not doing any Britney Spears, like just get over yourself.
No, you got to do it. So he said that up until here, the show's going great. And after that, the flow starts to get iffy.
Specifically, he said when after Oops, I Did It Again, like the energy drops off.
Well, yeah. And here's the Dan setlist theory. The rule of mine that's being broken so far is there's really not much movement of the energy. It's all sort of top level energy. It's all, we've been banging from go till now. And in my experience, you will wear out a room if you do that. And it's really hard to get anything going after they're like, you've now beaten them up for 5 20-minute sets. So it's been like an hour and 40 minutes now of full.
You've like annihilated.
You've been slamming them for an hour and 40 minutes. And then you're surprised that like the room's kind of going to go get a drink. I feel like a set needs to have some more movement than this does in the first 5. I'm not, and again, I'm not religious about that, and a person could certainly make an artistic decision that's different than that. But for me, I feel like I feel like part of the problem is we get here and there's kind of nowhere to go.
Sure. So as a person who has played in the Nashville music scene, I think what they are accounting for is a high turnover rate.
Okay, could be.
So if you're playing downtown and people are kind of coming and going, you don't necessarily have the luxury of riding a wave because the room is resetting about every 20 to 45 minutes.
And so I would say that you need to tell that same story just faster.
Sure.
And so there needs to be shape happening every 20 to 40 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause otherwise it's just an assault, it's just, it's just hitting you in the head for the whole time you're there.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally what this has been doing up to this entire point.
And that doesn't mean the lower energy stuff isn't filler. There's still like awesome material to do there that will fully like engage people and get them on your side and all that stuff. But I would consider mixing things up a little more.
Sure. And, I would argue with like block 3, not a single song is above 110 BPM. So that's like a down level, but like you don't think about Truth Hurts, that Lizzo song, as a down song. It's the slowest song out of all of them, 79 BPM. But because of the content, the way that it's written, you're going to get that like high energy response just based on the content.
Right. I mean, I Want It That Way is a little ballady, a little, but still sort of the nostalgia of it and the...
It's got that Don't Stop Believing level of like nostalgia,
for sure.
like emotional impact.
People are going to engage like it's a banger. That's
100%.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely.
Especially you follow it with Backstreet's Back and it's like, where you're right into...
You got them right where you want them.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into set 6 because this is apparently where he needs our help. So here's the 5-song block, and I've already got an idea about this. So they go from Oops, I Did It Again into Hey Ya by Outkast, into Don't Start Now, which is, I believe, Dua Lipa, into Crazy, which I believe is probably, at 112, it's probably the Britney Spears version, not the Gnarls Barkley, into No Scrubs, into Party in the USA. So my thought is, if you're ending with Oops, I Did It Again, and you're trying to keep people up, I would put Party in the USA right after.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And if you're looking at it from a musical standpoint, you're looking at 95 BPM to 96 BPM. You could almost like not stop and then just keep on moving into that.
Which makes you think maybe those two should be in the middle of a chunk together.
Yep. That's a totally fair assessment. And I feel like Hey Ya could be the end of the chunk instead of the beginning.
Exactly what I was thinking. I think Hey Ya is a good ender to go because that'll wear out a room hard. And then you're like, hey, we're the Misfit Toys. That's a good moment to introduce the band. Not over dead air. Have the bassist and drummer be doing something. Right.
But, so, I mean, in my professional opinion, I would actually flip this song list.
Yep.
So go from the Britney Spears tune, do Party in the USA, No Scrubs, Crazy, Don't Start Now, into Hey Ya. Just flip the whole thing on its head.
Yep.
Let's go into chunk 7. American Boy, which is, I can't think of the main artist, but I know that Kanye West has a feature on it. Sorry Not Sorry, which is Demi Lovato. It's like such a baller song. I really love that song. Yeah. Only Human, I Want You Back, again in sync with a throwback, and Poker Face. I think Sorry Not Sorry could probably top that one off. American Boy is a very, very good song, but I don't think it's got the recognition level as some of the other tunes in this chunk.
Yeah.
I think Sorry Not Sorry would probably be my choice. But yeah, I think switching Sorry Not Sorry, and then, I feel like everything else kind of fits where it needs to go, because it kind of like speeds things up and slows them down. Maybe go Sorry Not Sorry into Only Human because they're both kind of slower. And then do like American Boy, I Want You Back, and Poker Face kind of end really hard on that on the Lady Gaga tune. What do you think?
I like that. Anything that has sort of a move to it is going to be good.
Yeah, so I mean, you've always talked about that you kind of like you want a wave.
Yeah, I mean, my set list essentially is a W.
Yeah.
Start high, kind of bring them into some thinkers, middle dance set, to kind of bring energy there for a while, and then sort of back it off, and then end strong. That's kind of my basic set list design philosophy. Now, this is a 3-hour set list, so you're gonna have to do that many times in the course of this.
I'm trying to think of when I would pee during this whole situation.
All right.
You know what I mean?
It's crucial to think these things through.
All right, let's get into the last 3 chunks. I think we're on the home stretch now.
We are.
Let's go to chunk 8. Good as Hell, more Lizzo. Larger Than Life, Backstreet Boys, What Do You Mean? Some more Justin Bieber, Can't Feel My Face, The Weeknd. and then Talk, which I think maybe
Khalid.
song, I can't remember because I'm old.
I'm not
But it
even
could
going to try to know because I'm older.
Anyway, I feel like that works pretty solidly.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe swap What Do You Mean and Can't Feel My Face, because Larger Than Life and Can't Feel My Face are roughly the same BPM. So maybe you can tie them together more cleanly.
I feel like you could, if you put Can't Feel My Face last in this, it gives you more tie-in opportunity with the next chunk.
That's fair.
It feels to me like a smooth song to come out of a chunk on.
So maybe go like Lizzo into Talk and then do the like Larger Than Life, What Do You Mean, Can't Feel My Face in that order.
Yeah, something like that. Or What Do You Mean, Larger Than Life, Can't Feel My Face.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I think the whole idea there is you're kind of playing this game between how familiar is this tune,
right.
How fast is the tune, and kind of like figuring out
how
like,
nostalgic is the tune.
Yeah, so when you're looking at like the song that's playing versus the next song, you're kind of like taking those two factors and kind of weighing them against each other to figure out what comes next.
Yeah, and then I take a half a step back and kind of squint my eyes and look at the shape of it.
Sure.
You know, you got to think both in terms of each transition, but also about the storytelling of the set.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Chunk 9, Dance to the World Ends, Locked Out of Heaven, Cry Me a River, Love Game, Pony.
I think I like it like that.
Maybe put Locked Out of Heaven on the top end.
Yeah.
Just because of the energy. Till the World Ends is one of the higher energy tunes. It does kind of drop as far as like BPM goes. But I think ending on Pony is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just because
it's such a change.
Yeah. And it's also just, again, that's one of those iconic tunes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear the intro and I mean, like, it's an instant recognition kind of thing.
Right,
so,
right.
You know, you can never go wrong with some Genuine. All right, last two chunks were on the home stretch. A Telephone, which is Lady Gaga. You Drive Me Crazy, which is Britney Spears. Say My Name, Destiny's Child. Say So, I can't remember.
I don't know.
And then Sexy Back. So I feel like that's right. I think
this one has a nice shape. Say My Name is a groovy tune, but not high tempo.
Right, but and they drop it right in the middle.
Right, exactly.
Of all the other tunes.
Exactly.
So it kind of gives you. So I think the lesson here is that if you're going to slow your world down, make sure it is a memorable song.
For sure. Yeah, and that it has a trajectory. You know, we're headed back into something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this one, you're kind of it's a V shape. You're going down and up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly solid. You go from 122 to 104 to 69 to 111 back up to 117. So you're kind of like, you're doing exactly that.
Yep.
You're going down and landing right back where you started, roughly.
Right.
All right. This is it. This is the home stretch. Paparazzi by Lady Gaga. So again, lots of high register, but like very popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they're basically doing, top 40 from the last 15, 20 years, and they're hitting all the high points. Forget You, or the other version, depending on what. I feel like at the end of the night, they're probably doing the record version.
Of course they are. And we're trying to check the family-friendly box on this podcast. So,
yeah. Dirty with 2 R's, which means that's the Christina Aguilera version.
Right.
Naughty Girl, which is the Beyonce tune.
Gotcha.
That's the dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah.
And then ending with Gimme More, which is, I feel like that feels a little obscure to me because that's a Britney Spears tune in like her like really murky like meltdown portion.
I'm not familiar with it.
It's a song.
It's a song.
It's not one of Britney Spears's greatest tunes, but I understand why you would play it at the end of a 3 to 4 hour set at a honky tonk, like real late at night.
Get me the hell out of here song.
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily the equivalent of Don't Stop Believin', but it's got all of the ingredients for a poor decision making.
It's important.
Situation.
It's important.
They are like laser focused on a very specific part of the audience.
Right. And they are probably, I mean, I don't know Nashville that well, but from what I do know, they might be the only band in town doing this material.
100%.
Which is great. Actually, it's great.
And probably pulling a unique subsection of the audience.
For sure. And an audience
who isn't necessarily being catered to, you know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. No, listen, and a place that is so full of bar hopping like that this is gonna be sticky for some percentage of those hoppers. They're gonna stick around. So I think it's a brilliant choice. I think it's tactically really, really smart.
If that bar serves Cosmos, like they are like golden.
You're in. Or White Claws.
Yep.
Forget it.
Totally. So if you are interested in finding out more about Nick Vallese and the Misfit Toys, we will drop a link to all of their information in the show notes. Big thanks to Nick for dropping off this information to me. He's a good dude, and we've just kind of hit it off over social media, and I'm a fan of what he does. So I figured this would be the least that we could do to help them out. And I hope for any of you guys looking to get into the top 40 world that this is helpful to you as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. So if you want us to do Setlist Doctor for your set list, email us, coverbandconfidential@gmail.com, or DM us directly onto the Facebook page. You can also check out coverbandconfidential.com. We've got